Okay, Iron Bowl week is finally here. In my opinion, the best rivalry in college football. Playing the #1 team in the country at their place. This will be the 5th time we played a top 20 team on the road, so hopefully that experience will help. With that offensively, they got one of the better offenses in all of college football, led by the quarterback Blake Sims, which I think has had an outstanding year. He's very efficient with the ball, protects the ball. He's got the ability to hurt you with his legs too. Amari Cooper is one of the better playmakers in all of college football, if not the best playmaker, and he's a special player. And then add to that a very good running game, so they present a lot of challenges offensively. Defensively, it's pretty much the same as every year. They got very talented players at every position. They're very good with the run fits. They're very strong and athletic up front. They usually stop the run with their 6 or 7 guys and allow their other guys to play back in the pass. So that presents a lot of challenges. As far as us, Devontae Lambert will not play. He had surgery today. He'll be out for the year. That's a big blow for us. We're going to need some guys to step up. Jeff Whitaker will also not play. He's still injured. Everyone else we're expecting to play. Our guys are excited to play this game and looking forward to going to Tuscaloosa.
Questions?
Guys, can you say first for Devontae just what exactly the injury was?
Yeah, his knee.
It seems obvious to state the importance of Duke, but just how important is it to have him back this week?
Yeah, I mean he's one of our playmakers. He's had an outstanding year, and he has the ability to make one-on-one plays and plays in traffic.
Is Duke at 100%? How's he come along?
Yeah, I don't know if he's 100%, but we're expecting him to play.
When you were recruiting him, did you look back to the tape of him and Landon Collins playing against each other in high school?
No.
You mentioned Sims. Has he kind of changed the way you normally see an Alabama offense with his mobility?
Yeah, I mean he's had an outstanding year. He's done a very good job of, like I said earlier, protecting the football. But when he throws it, he's been very accurate, and when he runs it, I mean he can really run. He's a very good athlete, and he's really done a good job managing their offense.
Gus, do you feel like your guys have the same level of confidence and belief they had just a few weeks ago?
I mean, we went through some tough times, but this is Iron Bowl, and we got a lot of character on this team, and I expect our guys to be ready to play, and I know they're excited to play.
How does it change, this year from last year? The implications, obviously, you're not playing for an SEC title bid or a title game bid and that kind of thing. How does that change?
Well, I mean, obviously, we wanted to try to repeat as SEC champs, and the reality of that is no longer. This bunch still has a lot to play for. We're trying to win 10 games back-to-back seasons. I think since the first time since 1988. So this group has a lot of things to play for, and this is the Iron Bowl. And like I said, our guys will be ready.
Guess how worrisome is it to you that Lambert's out, because he's been the best pass rusher on the line? You guys just haven't been able to do anything.
Oh, he's a factor. There's no doubt. It's a big factor, but we need some other guys to step up. And football's a team game, and when you're playing against your rival, it's got the ability to have guys step up and play, better than they have all year, and that's what we need.
How important is it to get Nick going in the running game early? It seems like when you guys have struggled in the running game, it's been off nights for him.
Yeah, obviously when he's a run threat when we're playing, it really changes the dynamics of the game, and so that'll definitely be a factor.
What kind of advantage do you guys have having a guy like Nick who's already played in big games like that and played against a defense like Alabama's?
Yeah, I think anytime you have experience in a particular game, a particular team, and all that, does nothing but help. It's not a shock to your system. I mean, they're really good. You got to earn what you do, and Nick has a good understanding of that.
What do you think Nick's legacy will be once he leaves here, and do you believe you guys get to the national championship without him last year?
Well, I mean, he was a big part of leading us there, and it would have been extremely hard not having him to get there. I'll tell you that. He has been very good for us, this last 2 years, and as far as legacy, I mean, statistically, you look, he's one of the best to ever come through here, and, you know, but we still got games left, so that question is probably better answered, you know, at the end of the season.
A game like this could definitely change things a little bit, huh?
I mean, like I said, we got this game and a bowl game, and so we'll be able to answer that better at the end.
You made the 10-win goal the new objective, and what repeat, you know, back-to-back seasons, 10 wins would be. Do you also look at, with a win, the possibility of getting back in a New Year's Six bowl, and just how important that is?
You know, I think all the above, you know, is into play. We're trying to be as good as we can be and finish this thing as strong as we can. And our guys are committed to that, and I know our coaches are too.
Coach, when you look at Alabama's front seven, they're able to handle the inside run. So how do you counter that with Robinson and those guys?
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's definitely a factor. And looks like they're playing a few more guys than they did last year too. And so, you know, they do a good job of keeping those guys fresh. So that'll be a challenge. But, you know, to be able to beat a team like this, you're going to have to be able to run the football. I mean, you got to make some plays a pass game, but you got to be able to run the football. And we were able to do that last year, and we need to do the same thing this year.
How do you, and we've asked it, you know, several times the last few weeks, but how do you avoid another slow start? Because obviously, you get behind a team like Alabama, you're probably not going to be able to get back.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to, like I said, I've told you before, I mean, we got to do a good job as coaches helping these guys get off to a good start, and our players need to respond.
Gus, when you looked at the video of Alabama, can you explain why they're so much better at home than on the road this year?
You know, they played very well at home. You know, they're obviously very comfortable there. It's a tough place to play. You know, most teams are going to play better at home, but this year specifically, they've been quite a bit better.
Obviously, the kick six come up throughout the week. How do you think the players are handling that, and what do you do to maybe try and insulate them from being bothered by it a lot?
Yeah, I know it doesn't distract us. I mean, you know, our guys, it's a new year. This is a new team, just like there's a new team. There's players that have overlap that played in it, but this is a new year and, you know, a new game.
With that kick six football, I know it's still around. Do you ever break it out in recruiting or anything like that to show the recruits that come through?
No.
No?
It's still around?
Oh, it's.
You're telling me something I didn't know.
It's still here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Learned something.
Yes, what have you seen offensively from Alabama that Lane Kiffin has kind of added and kind of?
Yeah, you know, I think the best thing they've done is they've spread things out. They've got the ball to their playmakers in space. That's probably the thing that I feel like they've done very good. They played with some tempo, and you know, so, and then like I said before, you know, that's where the game's going, and they've done a good job doing that.
To go back to the kick six for a minute, Gus, just what did it mean to have Chris back here a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, it's always great to have Chris back. You know, it was good to see him. First time I've seen him, I guess, since he went off to camp right there, and I know the players felt the same way.
Gus, what are have-tos in preparing for Kiffin's offense, the way he called the flow he tries to get? What are have-tos you think defensively?
Yeah, I tell you what, he does a good job getting the ball to his playmakers, but he's done a good job setting up plays. You know, run a play to set up a play. And, you know, he's done a very good job, in my opinion, this year.
How has he changed things there? We heard you last night say it's not as traditional as it used to. Can you maybe expound a little bit on that?
Yeah, I mean, they're playing with some tempo. They're spreading things out. You know, in the past, they've been a little more, you know, old school, you know, pro style offense, and now they're spreading things out. And they've done a very good job doing that.
Do you think you had an effect on them maybe changing their philosophy?
I have no idea.
When you say this is one of the best, or the best rivalry in college sports, what makes you say that in your experience?
Yeah.
What separates this from the other rivalries?
Yeah, it's Auburn and Alabama. It's 365 days a year.
Yes, you said last night that you can sense a difference in your players this week compared to different weeks.
Yeah.
Where is that? What is that sense? What are you seeing from them this week compared to?
Yeah, it's been different. I mean, it's been different than the last few weeks, and it should be. And I'm sure they're doing the same thing and feeling the same way. And that's what makes this rivalry, you know, that much more special. And I know they'll be ready. I know our guys will be ready, and we'll see who wins.
Is there anything that makes Bryant Denny a little bit different than other road venues?
You know, it's loud, and there's a lot of places that are loud, but, you know, it's a rivalry game, so it's usually different at their stadium. It's usually different when they come to our stadium.
What has changed about you, and maybe just how you look at the rivalry since that first one you played in, or coached in, excuse me, in 2009?
Yeah, well, I actually coached against Alabama, I guess, in 2006. You know, when it was Arkansas, it was the first time, and then, of course, the Iron Bowl, 2009. I mean, you know, there's nothing like, you know, people can tell you about a certain rivalry, but until you're initially a part of it that first time, you don't understand it. And, you know, things become a lot clearer after that first time you experience Iron Bowl.
Does it change you at all as a coach, the way you approach the game?
Well, you just understand it better. I mean, you understand it better, and that's probably the biggest difference.
What is the meaning of this rivalry, Gus, off the field, away from just this week in the game, but to the bigger picture for the programs where you're competing for recruits all the time? The past couple of years, obviously, everything with Ruben and Rashawn got a lot of attention. Just to the bigger picture where you have the kick six lines painted on the field for Big Cat, just to the bigger picture of recruiting and what it means to these programs. Maybe not the outcome of the game itself, just what the rivalry means to the big picture.
Well, I mean, like we said, it's Iron Bowl. And, in my opinion, it's the best rivalry in college football. And it's very important. Very important to our players, very important to our coaches, very important to their players and coaches and both fan bases.
Have you had experiences with recruits that this game decides things for them?
I don't know about that.
Yes, I know you have a lot of confidence in Quan as a senior and a punt returner, but we've had 3 fumbles in the past 2 games. Do you just tell him at this point, just focus on catching it and not worry about trying to make plays?
No, he needs to protect the football. He needs to make plays. I mean, he needs to make a play in this game, but he needs to protect the football better than he has, you know, the last few games. He's still one of the better punt returners in all college football. The bottom line is you got to protect the football better.
You mentioned that Cooper is one of the better playmakers and wide receivers in the game. How do you simulate that on a scout team? Is there any one guy you can put out there to be like that? Even close?
I don't. I mean, you can put a jersey on somebody that has the same number, but to simulate one of the best players in college football, that's probably not realistic. But you know, you do the best you can.
How much of an impact, it doesn't seem like the passing game has been quite as successful with Duke out. How much of an impact does he have on this offense?
Well, he has a big impact. You know, he's until he got hurt, I mean, he was a big factor and made a lot of plays for us in the passing game. And, you know, we didn't have him and Ricardo last week, and, you know, it definitely changes things. But to get both those guys back on the field, you know, that'll get things back into balance, you know, better than it has been the last few weeks.
What's the plan for Thanksgiving for the team, and how do you try to get them away from football for maybe just a little bit?
Yeah, we'll use the same schedule as we did last year, which I think worked out pretty well. And we'll have a Thanksgiving practice, and then we'll have a Thanksgiving meal with our team and coaches and everything with that. Give them some time, you know, that afternoon, and then of course bring them back later that evening. But definitely Thanksgiving. You know, we definitely want to celebrate that. We got a lot to be thankful for.
How important is it for Nick particularly that he has that safety blanket in Duke over the middle, that he can rely on a guy like that?
Yeah, I think it's very important. If you're a quarterback, you know, you always have, you know, certain receivers you feel comfortable with, and after you play with them, and gives you confidence they can make a play for you if you put the ball in a certain area and all that. So, you know, that'll definitely be a plus.
Coach, how much do you have to guard against putting so much focus on Cooper when they've got other guys?
Yeah.
Guys too. I mean, how do you balance it? How do you balance
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, it is going to be about balance. I mean, they've got other weapons that have been extremely talented in the passing game, but they're also good at running the football. So, you know, it's one of the better offenses in college football. And, you know, obviously when they play at home, you know, they've been that much better. So, you know, you just got to strategically mix things up and try to keep them as off balance as you can, but they're a very good offense.
You mentioned penalties last night. Last year, you were among one of the best teams in the country and had one of the fewest penalties. You were the worst in the SEC and the bottom 15 to 20 in the country. Over the course of the year, what have you noticed? Why has this team gone from one extreme to the other? And just
Yeah. Well, we hadn't been disciplined enough. That's where it really starts. But you know what? At this point right now, you put everything up to this point behind, and you're playing the Iron Bowl, and we got to do a better job in the penalty area, and I expect us to do that.
With discipline, Gus, is that a coaching thing, a player thing?
Well, like I said, I mean, the penalties, it starts with me. And, you know, I've got to do a better job making our guys understand.